Hey everyone, and welcome back to Remember This Tech. It's Mac time. No, not this iMac. This one. This is a 2009 MacBook. This was a unibody design, plastic, and the downfall of it was it had a rubber coating on the plastic back plate. And it usually got scuffed up and it was horrible. So even so that Apple had a replacement plan if you had owned it for less than 3 years, and they replaced this backing. Well, I'm gonna see if I can restore it and maybe upgrade it a little bit. Person I bought it from said that it didn't have a drive, or the drive wasn't working, or something like that. The pictures online showed that it had a screen that was showing the non-bootable icon, so at least the screen appeared to work. Let's open it up really quick and look. It's kind of dirty and yellowed, so we're gonna take it and we're gonna clean it up a bit and install El Capitan, and then maybe go to High Sierra and maybe upgrade the RAM and slap in an SSD. But first we've got to give it a wipe down, because I hate working on any of these old machines without cleaning it up just a little bit, because it's filthy and gross. Take these 8 screws off the back, and that'll get me access to the hard drive and memory, and we can get a better look at what's installed here, and even if there is a hard drive. So without further ado, let's get right to it. Come on, let's go! This back clean, but I'm giving it an old college try, because as filthy as it is, it can only get better, right? And what did I pay for this? I paid a grand total of $20 US. And the thing was that it didn't have a hard drive, and it didn't come with a charger. I have a charger for this, and hopefully it works, and we can basically get this thing powered up, install the Mac OS X, go from there. It's looking better already. I mean, all I had to do is give it a little bit of a cleaning, right? I mean, it's kind of something you would do regardless, right? So I'm going to switch over to some LCD screen cleaner, and we'll do the rest of this system. It's not horrible now. As you can tell, or maybe you can't, there is a small crack by the hinge here, and there's another one here, and that's a common problem with the unibody design for the plastic unibody. And we'll just have to be careful. But I'm going to clean this up. Now, this won't be a speed demon by any means. I'm assuming it has the 2.26 gigahertz Core 2 Duo in it. That's what we're going to find out. And maybe I'm just cleaning this thing up and it won't work at all. So fingers crossed. Now that we've wiped down that part with the antibacterial wipe, we'll just give this disgusting keyboard a little wipe. I mean, I just don't understand. Is it the point where someone just decides that they want to have this gray, grungy, dirty look? I mean, do they not really want to ever clean their keyboard because it's kind of gross, you know? I don't know. I mean, seriously, sometimes you wonder, right? It's filthy. I'm rambling, but it's a pet peeve of mine. I mean, you're typing on it, you can clearly see it's disgusting. Why don't you clean it? It's looking 100% better already. Oh, so gross. Let's try to delicately clean the screen. Just using some Eyeglass cleaner cloths, and gently cleaning this. I mean, I don't have anything else, but since it's good enough not to scratch my glasses, I would hope that it can clean the screen. And if I don't say so myself, this is a very big improvement so far compared to what it looked like. It was pretty gross and grungy, and I feel better about working on it now. Let us pull the back off. Once I got the back off, we'll see what's in there for memory. I'll get the charger out or replace the hard disk with the cheap 128 gig AliExpress disk. See if we can load anything on here. Let's go! There's 8 screws on the back holding on the back plate. So, and it's kind of like a special Torx kind of screwdriver. It's meant for like Apple devices. Be careful not to strip these screws out because they are small, and if you have the wrong screwdriver, well, you're going to end up stripping it out and not getting this off. That's why I invest in a good toolkit with like this one here. I'll put the link for this parts that I use in the description below. This is so like well used and crappy that it just kind of like the rubber came right off. There's like clips here that you have to pop out, but I didn't expect the rubber to come off too, but it did, and that's where I'm at. And there you have it with the back plate taken off. See, it does have a hard drive. It's Toshiba, probably a 250 gig drive, yep. And more than likely it's dead, mechanical battery I do not know the shape of. Here is the super drive, and here's the memory. Let's pop out the memory and see if someone upgraded this or not. It's got 2 sticks. It's supposed to be DDR3, 2 gig sticks at 4 gig, and it's 8500 PC3. I read that you can actually put in 8 gig with High Sierra. In order to get the second stick out, we're gonna have to remove the hard drive, which we have to do anyways. So let's remove this and put in this Golden Fear SSD from AliExpress, $8. Hard drive comes out with 2 tiny screws here, and then this lifts out. And while you're in here, at the very least, clean out the system fan. And if you really want to go for it and you got bad temps, you can disconnect this circuit board, but there are many little connectors here, so be careful. Once this hard drive retainer is there, removed, the hard drive lifts out, but it has a ribbon cable here. Be careful, because that's the SATA connector, right? And you're going to want to keep these standoffs for the hard drive here, these little ones. And I think it's a Torx head that same type that you use to, size that you use to, no it's not. It's a blue one. So another Torx head, but save these. Put them in your other drive so they can sit down in the holders here. So, got a bit of a dust off. We got the mounts from the old drive onto this cheap AliExpress SSD, and we're gonna hook this up. Try and hook up these DDR3 1600 megahertz 4 gig SODIMMs new to see if they will work. Might have to reset the NVMe RAM, or they might not work at all, and we might be limited to 4 gig. But I read that you could sometimes get them to work, so we're going to try this. And if not, we'll put the other ones back. The bottom one's in pretty tight. Just going to secure the back plate a little bit here with a couple of screws until I know that this unit is going to accept the RAM. All right, we've got our moment of truth here. We shall hook up the mag Safe charger. Green. I put in a 2 gig stick for the original one, the bottom bank, and a 4 gig stick because sometimes different combination, some Macs will take 6 gigs. So we're gonna try that. And if not, well, we're stuck with 4. Oh shite, look at it, did it. Oh, wonder if it's gonna pick up the 6 gig. That would be sweet. I mean, could be that it had a bad stick in the other bank, but who knows. Sometimes you hold down, I think it's option, and you should get a boot menu. We're gonna rock with 6 gig if it shows up of RAM, and see if we can install El Capitan and maybe get High Sierra on here. Fingers crossed. Well, this is always a good sign. Trackpad's working. That is nice. Let's see if we can't see the hard disk. SSD. Sometimes you have to go into disk utility first and format it with Mac OS X journaled disk, the Golden Fear. We want to erase that, and we want to call this Blanco MacBook. Yeah, I'm original. It's a white MacBook, but disk here. So once that's done, should be able to just go install OS X. You ever have a problem when you're trying to boot up your Mac to re-image it from a USB and you're getting the corrupt image or installer error? It says your like El Capitan is corrupt or whatever. Well, that's the case with this one, and I'm gonna attempt to fix that by a simple fix, and it's adjusting the time date for the terminal. It's off on the computer or what have you, and you have to adjust it. So I'll show you how to do that. First thing you want to do is go up to Utilities and go into Terminal, and then you're going to want to type in date right here. And this is going to be manually adjusting your time and date because that's usually what causes the problems. So, and you want to put the following figures in place in the following correct way, or else it'll mess up. Your month would be like 04, and that is for April. Then you want to put in your day, which would be, let's say, the 20th, right? And then the next following figure here would be hour. So what time is it? So let's say it's 1 o'clock, and then you want to put in the minute next, 16. And then you want to put in the year. So in this case it's 24. Now hopefully that'll work. Just hit enter, and it'll give you an error if it doesn't work for illegal time date. So I'm assuming since it's 1 p.m. it'll be 13 military time. So let's try that. And that's what I did on this one. Let's see if it takes it. And it took it. So it's military time, so it thinks it's now Saturday, April 20th, 1:16. And if it's off by too far, you know, you're gonna have to change it. Like it changed to 17 in the time that I was farting around here. So now it's 17. So now it's 1:17. So that's military time. So there you go. Let's try to get into our boot menu. Let's close out the terminal. And quit the terminal. Should bring us back to the install screen. And we want to install from here. From everything I've seen, this should fix the corrupt install. Here we have El Capitan. Let's see if it works. And we'll say yes, we've agreed. And we want this to go onto the drive where you want it to install, because that's the boot disks. This is the SSD. So now if everything's good, it should not give me errors, and it should install. It'll do setup and give you prompts, but that is the fix if you have a corrupt install error on your USB boot installed drive that you just created, and you need to fix it because that's the problem. Well, you actually may have a corrupt disk, but in many cases this is the fix. So we've got El Capitan installed. The system properties are here. We have the 2.26 gigahertz Core 2 Duo. Shows the 6 gig of DDR3 memory. We're rocking an NVIDIA GeForce 9400M mobile, 256 meg of RAM. And we're capable of 1280 by 800 resolution, 12-inch screen here. And you'll see we have 128 gig SSD that we upgraded, and the install took, it took about 10 gig ish. It shows the 4 gig, 2 gig, and some of these older Macs, 2007, 8, 9, some of them only take 6 gig. So we'll have to explore that later. We have upgraded and restored our 2009 White MacBook, the plastic one. Looks very nice now. I think we did a great job, but there's one more thing we need to do. We need to try and upgrade to High Sierra because El Capitan is a bit long in the tooth. So these white plastic MacBooks are supposed to be able to support High Sierra. So let's try that for the final upgrade. So after we upgraded High Sierra, is this laptop still usable on the internet? Can we play any videos? Well, let's check out my YouTube site and see what we can do. Just click one of the later videos and see if we can't get the...
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Remember This Tech.
Today's 480p,
I picked up a new system.
1080p.
Deal for only $100. What did I get? That's what we're going to find out. Let's see if this system works. See behind me? Got this.
Looks like it's frozen.
Now, I originally was just looking for...
Is it catching up? Let's reduce it to 720. Because this is a slideshow. Alright.
Does it work?
720p is working fine.
Editing rig, that's it. So I'm like, okay, let's do it. I thought that was a deal as long as it works, right? And then I saw another listing post from him immediately.
Well, 720p is running fine. It just has problems playing 1080p, but we go into activity monitor. You can see that we're using 2.7 gig of the 6 gig of memory. And, well, can it game? Well, I got the output to the big monitor here, and we're going to play some classic StarCraft. Ideally, this isn't really a gaming machine, but we're going to give it a shot here. And the output really isn't working too well for the capture, but we'll give this a shot.
Rock and roll. Let's move. Go, go, go. Jim Raynor, Mark. Rock and roll. Go ahead, Commander. Give me something to shoot. Go, go, go. Let's move.
So, final thoughts on this $20 MacBook, late 2009. Well, I put in a $7 128 gig SSD and a 4 gig stick of memory, which brought the memory total up to 6 gig. I tried to put in a different 4 gig stick to make it 8 gig. It just wouldn't happen. It kept giving me errors. So some of these Macs of this era only took 6 gig and they're only probably rated to take 4 gig. But I've read blogs where they can take 6 gig, and that's the same for my iMac, and it does. So I'm happy with how it came out for now. It's pretty snappy with the SSD and the little bit extra RAM. What's special about these 2009 white plastic MacBooks is that they support a High Sierra. So I was able to upgrade to that and all the security patches. Although High Sierra ended support in 2020, it still gives you a lot of functionality. You know, you can browse the web, you can view YouTube at 720p. That's probably the best you're gonna get. Don't push it, but it looks great. And we even got to play a little bit of Classic StarCraft. You can download Classic StarCraft and play it for free. And there's obviously a Mac version, which I have on both of my Macs. And it's not too bad. Plays really well because it takes low specs to play. Was this a success? For the price I paid for the MacBook and the ability to upgrade it to High Sierra and maybe with Open Core later to a higher version, yeah, I'd say that was a hell of a deal. And these Macs like this still have a lot of life left in them. Even though they're not the fastest machines in the world, they're still really nice and they can perform most everyday tasks really well. They're very easy to open up and upgrade the RAM and the hard drive to an SSD. So if you come across one of these late 2009 MacBooks or 2010, might as well pick it up if it's really cheap, because for a low price, for $31 is what I paid total for this system, you can't go wrong with this. So I was glad that I got this system up and running again, cleaned up, and it looks really nice now. So thanks for coming along with me on this restoration journey, this old 2009 MacBook, and thanks for watching. Remember this tech.